Welcome back to Dinar for Veterans, your trusted source for breaking updates on the Iraqi dinar and the financial developments that matter most to you. What we're about to share with you right now is a historic financial development that demands your full attention. This is not speculation, not rumor, and definitely not wishful thinking. Recent confirmed reports indicate that the Iraqi dinar has reached a significant milestone that is creating massive waves across global financial systems. For years, many of you have held on to your dinar investment with patience and faith, believing in Iraq's economic potential when mainstream experts completely dismissed it. That patience is now being validated in ways that exceed expectations. The recent exchange rate development represents one of the most dramatic currency movements in modern financial history, and the implications for dinar holders are profound and far-reaching. This is not a temporary market spike that will disappear overnight. What we are witnessing is a permanent structural realignment that results from years of intense economic planning and governmental reforms within Iraq. The country has methodically worked to stabilize its economy, restore international trust, and attract substantial foreign investment. These efforts were the crucial prerequisites for a sustainable revaluation, and the current rate confirms that those policies have succeeded. Iraq is publicly declaring that the foundation for its new economic chapter is robust and built for longevity, and global markets are responding accordingly. The significance of this development reaches far beyond Iraq's borders. Countries that trade heavily with Iraq are adjusting to a completely new financial environment. International investors who have held the dinar, and particularly the global energy market which relies heavily on Iraqi oil, are all recalculating their strategies. We are seeing a rapid realignment of confidence, capital, and trade flows across the Middle East and into major banking institutions worldwide. Understanding the background and long-term implications of this change is absolutely critical for anyone involved in finance, wealth management, or international business, and especially for veterans and patriotic Americans who believed in this investment when others did not. The journey to this historic moment began with a comprehensive economic reform agenda designed to fix deep systemic issues. For many years, Iraq struggled with enormous challenges stemming from past conflicts, political instability, and crippling economic sanctions that held the economy back. Despite possessing some of the largest proven oil reserves on the planet, those natural resources alone were insufficient to guarantee a strong currency without deep structural overhauls. The transformative change we are seeing now is attributed to a powerful combination of smart policy decisions, renewed international cooperation, and massive infrastructure investment. To achieve this level of international financial credibility, the Iraqi government collaborated closely with major international financial organizations to completely overhaul its outdated banking systems. Key objectives included enhancing fiscal transparency, modernizing digital payment infrastructure, and aggressively fighting corruption, which had long drained national wealth and damaged investor confidence. These comprehensive measures were essential not only to boost international investor belief, but also to ensure that the economic foundations supporting the dinar's revaluation would be sustainable and resilient over the long term. Iraq has simultaneously poured enormous capital into crucial public infrastructure projects and essential services like electricity, transportation, and clean water. This dual strategy ensures that the benefits of currency strengthening are felt throughout the domestic economy, providing a solid basis for sustainable growth. The confirmed exchange rate is therefore much more than just a number on an exchange board. It represents a profound shift in Iraq's overall economic credibility and its growing influence on interconnected global markets. From a global perspective, this new dinar rate is causing immediate waves across multiple industrial sectors simultaneously. Global oil prices are notoriously sensitive to shifts in the currency values of major oil-producing nations. As a significant player in world energy markets, Iraq now finds itself with vastly increased bargaining power and pricing flexibility. Nations that import substantial amounts of Iraqi oil are experiencing immediate cost changes, forcing swift recalculations of national budgets, energy policies, and import-export agreements. Meanwhile, the sophisticated world of emerging market investors is paying intensely close attention to this powerful new dynamic. Currency traders, major hedge funds, and financial institutions are frantically readjusting their investment portfolios to account for the dinar's dramatic movement. Early reports indicate substantial gains for those who positioned themselves correctly, while others who miscalculated face significant unexpected risks. The net effect is a global realignment of financial confidence and major investment flows into the Middle East and beyond. For veterans and Americans who have been tracking the Iraqi dinar for years, this moment is a complex mix of immense excitement and necessary caution. Those who wisely acquired dinars in anticipation of this revaluation are now seeing substantial paper gains, dramatically increasing their theoretical net worth. However, the practical challenge remains in converting these newly realized gains into tangible purchasing power. The global currency exchange infrastructure must rapidly evolve to handle the sheer volume of large-scale transactions. This constraint has led financial experts to describe this period as one of paper wealth, where there is a substantial increase in net worth, but with limited immediate liquidity due to logistical challenges. You are strongly advised to remain exceptionally patient and cautious, as converting dinars at the new official rate will require utilizing legitimate, fully regulated financial services and adhering to all necessary regulatory approvals. The excitement is certainly real and justified, but the practical reality of realizing profits demands meticulous planning and deep awareness of potential financial risks. Do not rush into unverified exchange centers or fall victim to predatory street fees. Wait for official announcements regarding certified banking institutions and specialized exchange centers that will be opening in major financial hubs. These centers will be tasked with processing physical banknotes safely and securely, ensuring that holders can exchange their currency without falling victim to fraud or unverified online platforms. Domestically within Iraq, the new dinar rate promises profound implications for the economy and everyday citizens. Local businesses that rely on imports will immediately benefit from their currency's increased value, enabling them to purchase essential materials, machinery, and goods at significantly lower relative costs. Key sectors such as construction, manufacturing, and services are poised to see immediate strong growth opportunities as the dinar strengthens and stabilizes, drawing in new investment. However, significant challenges remain for central authorities to manage correctly. Sustaining this growth will depend on maintaining economic stability, keeping inflation under strict control, and minimizing political risks which have plagued the region for decades. The government's continued strategic investments in public infrastructure, healthcare, and education are now more crucial than ever to build a deeply resilient domestic economy that can withstand global pressures. By successfully diversifying beyond heavy oil dependence and strengthening institutional systems, Iraq is setting the stage for long-term self-sufficient success. Looking at the broader Middle East, Iraq's currency revaluation is being intensely scrutinized by neighboring nations. Major economic players such as Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates are urgently assessing how this shift will impact vital regional trade, future investment patterns, and the critical balance of economic power. Should Iraq successfully maintain a strong, stable currency, its role as a key regional trade partner and competitor will be significantly enhanced, potentially accelerating development efforts in other countries trying to keep pace. The geopolitical implications of a financially robust Iraq are equally as important as the financial ones. A financially strong Iraq could fundamentally reshape regional dynamics, fostering both increased collaboration on certain issues and inevitable competition on others, ultimately influencing long-term economic strategies across multiple Middle Eastern countries. Diplomacy, major trade negotiations, and international agreements are now being adjusted to reflect Iraq's newly powerful economic standing, signaling a potential shift in the region's overall power structure. International banks and major financial institutions are adapting with incredible speed to this historic change. Institutions that previously enforced extremely strict limits on Iraqi transactions are now frantically revising their internal policies to fully account for the dinar's powerful new value. Some are already seizing vast new opportunities for significantly expanding their operations across the Middle East, while others are urgently reassessing the risks associated with existing Iraq-based investments and loans. These banks are actively recalculating their financial exposure, adjusting complex interest rates, and formulating new lending strategies, which creates a ripple effect throughout global financial markets. This vital recalibration affects not only massive multinational corporations, but also smaller businesses that rely heavily on banking partnerships for seamless international trade. The overall response of the banking sector will be instrumental in determining how smoothly this colossal currency adjustment integrates into the global economic system. Many foreign exchange platforms are currently in update mode, meaning that quote screens are flashing with new numbers as liquidity providers adjust their spreads. This technical phase is common during a historic revaluation, where old rates are purged from electronic systems and replaced by newly established values. Traders are reporting that buy and sell orders are experiencing brief pauses as compliance officers verify the authenticity of incoming data feeds from the Middle East. This means that while the rate is fully visible and officially recognized, the infrastructure that connects your wealth to your local bank account is being carefully monitored to prevent fraudulent transactions. Financial security is the absolute top priority for everyone involved during this transition period. Major global wealth management groups are already releasing memos to their high net worth clients, advising them on how to manage this new asset class. For years, financial advisors dismissed the dinar as a speculative asset with low survival probability. But now, those opinions are changing fast. The sudden shift in perspective means that wealth managers are now forced to design custom trust funds, tax-sheltered accounts, and diversified investment vehicles specifically tailored for individuals holding large sums of Iraqi currency. This corporate acknowledgement provides an immense layer of validation to the entire community, proving that persistence and deep research have finally paid off in a spectacular way. If you own these notes, you are no longer holding a stranded asset, but rather a highly sought-after global currency that commands absolute respect on Wall Street. Furthermore, the relationship between Iraqi central banking authorities and international monetary funds has reached a new level of strategic cooperation. The implementation of strict anti-money laundering protocols has successfully satisfied the rigorous demands of global regulators, allowing the dinar to be traded without the heavy restrictions of the past. This clean bill of health means that international trade can now be settled directly in dinars, bypassing the need for a secondary reserve currency in many regional transactions. This independence strengthens Iraq's economic sovereignty and ensures that the wealth generated from its vast natural resources remains within its borders to build a modern society. The reduction in transactional friction will undoubtedly attract a new wave of tech startups and logistical giants looking to establish their regional headquarters in Baghdad. We must also consider the psychological impact this revaluation has on the global financial community as a whole. For a long time, the dominant narrative was that emerging market currencies were inherently unstable and unsafe for long-term capital preservation. This successful revaluation completely shatters that narrative, proving that when a country commits to serious institutional reform and fiscal discipline, it can achieve first-tier economic status regardless of its past challenges. This success story will likely inspire other nations in developing regions to follow Iraq's blueprint, leading to broader stabilization of global trade and a reduction in currency volatility worldwide. Investors are already looking to identify the next hidden gem in the foreign exchange market, using Iraq's journey as a golden standard for analysis. The domestic real estate market in Iraq is also experiencing an immediate frenzy of activity as local wealth multiplies exponentially. Land values in commercial zones are skyrocketing as developers rush to secure plots for new office towers, luxury hotels, and modern shopping complexes. This boom is creating a powerful internal economic multiplier effect, where money spent on construction flows directly into the pockets of local workers, architects, and suppliers. The rising standard of living will inevitably drive up domestic consumption, creating a self-sustaining economic loop that relies less on oil exports and more on domestic innovation and service industries. This diversification is exactly what international economists have been recommending for decades, and it is finally happening in real time. In addition to real estate, the domestic stock exchange is seeing unprecedented volume as both local and foreign investors buy up shares of newly empowered Iraqi corporations. Companies specializing in telecommunications, banking, and logistics are leading the market rally, with some stocks experiencing historic gains in consecutive trading sessions. This influx of capital allows these businesses to expand their services across national borders, turning local entities into regional champions that can compete on a global scale. The wealth generated from the stock market is creating a new class of Iraqi entrepreneurs who are eager to invest in sustainable energy, technology, and advanced agriculture, ensuring a bright future for the next generation. Looking at the logistics of international shipping, major ports are preparing for a massive increase in inbound cargo traffic as purchasing power rises. Orders for foreign automobiles, high-end electronics, and industrial manufacturing equipment have already spiked, signaling a major upgrade in the country's technological infrastructure. Shipping lines are adding new routes to accommodate the demand, turning the region into a central transit hub that bridges east and west trade lanes efficiently. This logistical upgrade will reduce delivery times and costs for all regional trade, further solidifying Iraq's position as an indispensable partner in global commerce and economic development. It is also important to recognize the profound dedication of the economic team that worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this revaluation a reality. Operating under intense global scrutiny and facing skepticism at every turn, these professionals managed to execute a highly complex monetary transition with absolute precision. Their success will undoubtedly be studied in economic textbooks for decades to come, as a premier example of national financial engineering. The strategic coordination required to balance domestic inflation, manage foreign reserves, and maintain public trust during such a massive transition is nothing short of extraordinary, and they deserve immense credit for their historic service to the nation. Despite the overwhelmingly positive developments, economic analysts universally warn that a sudden massive jump in currency value always carries inherent volatility and risk. Without an unwavering commitment to continued structural reforms, sustained political stability, and consistently strong governance, the rate could theoretically experience turbulence. Iraq must rigorously maintain its anti-corruption efforts, wisely invest in productive, diversified economic projects, and sustain investor confidence to prevent destabilization. The new rate is undeniably exciting, but it must be viewed as a starting point, not a guarantee of effortless long-term stability. The ultimate success will critically depend on Iraq's ability to balance this rapid, high-profile growth with exceptionally careful economic management, cohesion across factions, and sound financial practices that clearly demonstrate reliability to the broader global community over many years. For veterans and patriotic Americans who invested in the dinar, this currency revaluation is a powerful real-world lesson about the power of sound economic policy and the rewards of patience and belief. You saw firsthand how committed government reforms, strategic investment in vital infrastructure, and transparent financial systems can produce dramatic, measurable results. Countries that stubbornly ignore institutional reform and necessary economic diversification may find it increasingly difficult to stabilize their own currencies in the future. The global investment community is responding with a frantic level of activity to Iraq's powerful new dinar valuation. Major hedge funds, sophisticated currency traders, and multinational corporations are all recalculating their comprehensive strategies to account for the extensive ripple effects. Global supply chains, import-export costs, and forward-looking financial projections are being urgently updated to accurately reflect the much higher dinar value across international banking networks. Even industries that have no direct trade with Iraq are feeling secondary effects as the currency's fluctuation influences global oil and commodity prices. One of the most striking and immediate elements of this rapid revaluation is its profound effect on global oil markets. As a major oil producer, the strength of the dinar instantly affects global pricing mechanisms, complex export contracts, and Iraq's competitive positioning within major international oil organizations. Importers must now pay substantially more relative to their local currencies, potentially causing a notable increase in energy costs worldwide. This creates both immediate challenges and new opportunities as nations and major businesses recalibrate existing contracts and future budgets. The construction and manufacturing industries within Iraq are poised to gain enormous immediate advantages from the sudden currency jump. Local companies can now afford to import significantly more materials, advanced machinery, and critical technology. This is expected to intensely stimulate rapid economic growth, create thousands of new jobs, and attract powerful foreign partnerships. The government's ongoing role in fostering an environment of regulatory support and tax incentives remains crucial to maximizing these once-in-a-generation benefits. The final element of Iraq's long-term strategy, and one that bolsters the dinar's credibility, is the crucial investment in human capital through enhanced education and healthcare. A strong, stable currency directly supports better infrastructure in schools, hospitals, and high-tech training programs. By enhancing the quality of its human capital, Iraq ensures that the economic gains benefit society broadly and not just a small elite. This approach signals to the international community a commitment to sustainable, inclusive development that will reinforce the credibility of the new dinar rate for years to come. As we bring this comprehensive update to a close, remember that knowledge is your most valuable asset during times of immense financial transition. The landscape is shifting rapidly, and staying informed through verified logical analysis is the only way to navigate the incredible opportunities that lie ahead. We are committed to standing by your side throughout this entire journey, providing you with accurate updates, expert breakdowns, and practical guidance you need to maximize your financial future. Make sure to subscribe to Dinar for Veterans, turn on all notifications, and share this video with fellow investors and veterans who need to hear this powerful message. Stay patient, stay focused, and get ready for the incredible new chapter that is unfolding right now before our very eyes.